Hey, welcome back. You know, the long holiday weekend, it is here. So a lot of us are going to be firing up the grill, saying goodbye to summer. And we're joined by Maryland chef Ashish Alfred, or known as Chef Al. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
We appreciate it.
Labor Day.
Absolutely. Same to you. And if he looks familiar, it's because he's been on the shows Chopped and Cut Their Kitchen on the Food Network, as well as Bar Rescue in Paramount. And he also recently spent some time in Paris. So he's joining us today to talk about his French twist on classic barbecue foods. So talk about how you've been adding that French flair, because I feel like when we think of barbecue, we don't typically think of French food.
Yeah. No, not at all. You know, I think I've been adding French flair to my food for the past, I don't know how many years, being a French chef, but Labor Day was around the corner. I said, you know, what can I share with you guys? It's a little French, but mostly American. So you talk about like the coq au vin, super classic French dish. It's braised in red wine and chicken stock with a lot of veggies. Typically something that you'd see served, there we go, tilted up.
Yeah, trying to get it in the frame there, yeah.
Served in a brasserie in around like wintertime.
Okay.
So I said, how do we make this a little bit like barbecue friendly? So we made the marinade, a little bit of red wine, some other aromats in there like some garlic, some bay leaf, braised it for a little while, and then finished it on the grill. So
smells
it has
delicious.
That really nice red wine flavor kind of like running through it.
And so you cook it first, you're saying, in the cast iron pan.
In the cast iron pan with a little bit of liquid, and then when it's almost cooked, then we take it out and just finish it on the grill.
Ooh, okay.
And then these bay leaves are like a garnish on top?
Yes, so that's just parsley on the side, and the bay leaves were in the sauce that we braised.
Got it.
And who doesn't love corn on Labor Day?
Yeah,
obviously. It's legally required.
It's legally required. I don't think it's Labor Day without it.
I do. I love to do a spicy one, and then like, you know, your just typical salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Ooh,
now what's the spice?
I mean like a tahini,
Yeah, there you
more
go.
like a spicy there.
I didn't want to assume.
Okay, no. And I'll do the wrap in aluminum foil, so I'll add the spice, wrap in aluminum, lay it down.
Yep.
That's how.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
Amazing. Okay, and then what do we have over here?
And then no Labor Day is complete without a grilled piece of meat.
Of course.
So this is a very nicely grilled piece of meat, just salt and pepper, and then to kind of French this up a little bit, we hit it with like a compound butter. Compound butter is just fancy for butter with other stuff in it. So this has just got a little bit of roasted garlic, a lot of herbs through there. So what I would do at home is I would just finish it under the broiler for a second, so that butter kind of melts nicely through there, but you guys wouldn't see that on TV if I did that here.
Okay, let's show everybody there.
This one.
So are you making the compound butter yourself? Like you're putting the stuff in there?
I do, and I think all the recipes are about to be available online if they're not yet.
Okay.
And this is just regular unsalted butter. We've just added a lot of parsley, some thyme, some rosemary, chopped it up, folded it through there, and placed it on top of our steak. Now in the restaurant, we just hit this little torch, start to melt a little bit, and then it gets to your table, and you have a little bite of butter, a little bite of steak. Everything.
Amazing.
When you're grilling, though, do you recommend? Because obviously we're presenting it here, but would you cook it differently? Like have not cut it beforehand before you place it on the grill, or
obviously no. You don't want to cook it before you place it on the grill. Otherwise, you'd have a whole bunch of little well done pieces of steak.
I mean, some might like that.
Yeah, sure. And the most important thing that I think a lot of people forget when it comes to steak, you have to rest your steaks.
Oh, okay.
Right? So the amount of time that it was on the grill or in the oven or in the pan, half that much time needs to be spent just being left alone.
Interesting.
What do you mean by that, by rest? Like when is it resting?
So once you've cooked it about 80% of the way to the temperature that you want it at, you want to take it away from the heat, maybe wrap it up in a piece of aluminum foil and let it sit.
Oh,
you
to
notice
finish
there's
the
no
cooking.
Correct.
Okay.
There's no red juices or anything on the plate here because the steak is rested really beautifully. And it's had time for those juices to redistribute, so you're not like, because a lot of
Getting
times
that oozing plate with
yes, nobody
Yum.
wants that.
Okay, well, I'm like a steak. I love resting too, so I can remember that. And so what are common mistakes people make when barbecuing? Because I myself don't know much about grilling. Like I've never grilled a piece of meat on a grill. So like if someone's trying to do this for the first time, what's your
I think that resting one was a great tip, you know?
I think a lot of people forget that your grill a lot of times has different zones, whether it's a charcoal grill or a gas grill. So you definitely want to keep one side of it super hot and the other side of it not so hot.
Oh.
So like when I start my steaks, I'll start them on the super hot part of the grill, and then I'll move them either up to that upper deck or off to like the corner where they're not so hot anymore.
So they can rest.
So they can rest.
Very
so
good.
They can rest.
Very good. Okay, before I go real quick, explain to us the purpose of the brie here.
This is the easiest one of them all, right? So we do a lot of baked brie in Paris. This is brie that you can throw on the grill. So I would take this whole wheel of brie, I would set it on the grill, let it just kind of warm and bubble a little bit, put it back in these pretty little containers that they give you, and I would finish this with just a little bit of rosemary over the top, and then you can add a little bit of salt if you want it on the saltier side, a little bit of honey if you want it on the sweeter side, and then little bits of toast that you can buy at the store, dip through, take a bite. A great way to start a cookout.
Easy and impressive way to enjoy Labor Day. Thank you so much, Chef Al, for being here. All of this looks great, and I definitely appreciated the resting a steak tip.
Now we know.